I'm going to invite you simply to settle in. And by settling in, I mean really arriving here in this seat where you are right now, pew, and closing your eyes a little, simply because when we leave our eyes open, it's so easy to be distracted. In Zen, they call the eyes thieves. They steal our attention. So allowing the eyes to close. And why not take a couple of deep, slow breaths? A simple way of helping us to just untangle, settle in. And just now allowing your attention to move into your body and experiencing your feet on the floor. What do the shoes feel like on your feet? Can you experience them, noticing them? And what about your hands? Can you experience your hands? Maybe they're clasped in your lap, maybe on your thighs, wherever. Arriving right here, right now. And allowing your mind to arrive as well. Thoughts are going to come and go all on their own. But at the same time, you can put your main focus, inviting you to put your main focus right now, just on your breath. The in-breath, then the out-breath. When thoughts arise, simply let them pass through. Don't grab onto them. Don't follow. No following thoughts. Instead, noticing the touch sensation of your breath, the nostril, the nasal passage. Becoming present here. Noticing the nature of this thought right now, this breath right now. Is it a smooth breath, a ragged? Is it slow or fast? Just getting in touch. You don't need any words, actually. Getting in touch with the touch sensation of your breath, this breath. When you notice your attention is caught up with the train of thoughts, just gently, gently unhooking from those thoughts and returning to the breath, to your experience with your breath. And why is it that we turn our attention to breath? Why is the invitation there? And the invitation is there because it is so easy to get distracted by thoughts. I think all of us know that, have had that experience countless times. So it simplifies matters. It keeps us out of the monkey mind, or helps us detach from the monkey mind and not get caught up in its shenanigans. Because it is shenanigans that goes on in the monkey mind. You relate? Thoughts go around and around and around. And they convince us that they're right. Coming back to the breath. And now I'm going to invite you to take one step further, or more specifically, a step back. You've been focusing on the breath and maybe on the thoughts or emotions that arise. But now, take a backward step, as an ancient Zen master, Dogen, called it, a backward step. Turning the attention from this outward focus on breathing, turning it around backwards to the inquiry. Who is breathing? Who is witnessing the breath? Who? The invitation is not to try to explain it to yourself. Not, oh, it's me. I'm looking at my breath. Experiencing it. Who? Who's the experiencer? We could easily ask, what is the experiencer? Touching it directly for yourself. It can help to think. I use the image of a newborn baby. A newborn baby, before any experience has happened, before there's an awareness of breath, our body, our age or gender, before all experiences. And yet, something is there. What is it? What is this experience of a newborn baby before language? Before language can explain what's going on, ruminate. And if your mind jumps in and said, wait, this is too hard, I don't know what in the heck it's about. Yes, you do. Because you've been there countless times, but we often don't notice. Can we simply be there without explanation, wordlessly? And again, if you find your mind is jumping in with all kinds of explanations or objections, can you just simply going back to touching into that mind or the state of the newborn? Pure awareness. Touching into the pure awareness that is your nature before everything else was added. Your original nature. It's always been there. And if in the moment drowsiness is arising, can you notice that? And simply come back. Come back to what you most basically are before you're drowsy, before you think, before you question, before you object, before you love something. Your pure awareness, touching it. And now, if you would prefer, returning to whatever your usual practice is, maybe it's the breath, attention to the breath. Maybe it's attention to the body, mindfulness of the body, whatever. And as you do, take a few minutes and then come back to pure awareness. Take the backward step. Turn your attention around to pure awareness because it's always there. And if you wish and prefer, return to mindfulness. Your choice. But come back and come back. Even for a moment, touching in to what you truly are. There's no effort associated with touching into pure awareness. What's present is dropping the effort involved with thinking or being twirled around by emotions. It's dropping all the efforting we usually make and giving ourselves the gift of simply being present in pure awareness. What a stunning change. And there's no need to make an effort to try to stay there in pure awareness. Just touch it. And the mind will jump in. Return when you can. Being simple. meaning being in touch with what you truly are, what you most fundamentally are, your true nature, awareness. Being simply what you already are. Being. Again, if your attention is caught up in a train of thoughts or emotions, and even if you're watching your breath mindfully or experiencing the body mindfully, even then, coming back, even just for an instant, to the awareness that is the essence of your being. Just for an instant, just touching. The Sufi poet Rumi said, sometimes you hear a voice through the door calling you. Like a fish out of water hears the waves. Come back, come back. This turning toward what you truly love saves you. Sometimes you hear a voice through the door. Like a fish out of water hears the waves. Come back, come back. This turning toward what you truly love saves you. So, friends, I guess I'd like to tell you that actually Pat was scheduled to be here tonight to talk, and he's not feeling well. He had some sort of virus. He's feeling much better, but so he asked. So I stepped in, and I will say I stepped in at the really last minute, and I'm here. So I thought, oh, okay, what would I really like to share tonight? And I realized that I'd like to share most about the experiential, our experiences with regard to this journey of awakening. Not just the, not theory so much, although we'll say a little bit, but tying it into experiences, your experiences and my experiences, and sharing that. So I will say, start off with a little bit, and then I hope that we'll be able to share together, and including I will share with you too, because finally, It's about making this real for you. You know, talking about your nature when you were a newborn can get our sound a little bit abstract. We're not used to that. But I think that all of us here, you wouldn't be here unless something is drawing you. Of all the places in the world for you to be tonight, for you to be here, something is drawing you. And the same to those of you who are online and behind this beautiful picture that's up there. All of us, we're being drawn here. And I think all of us have had experiences with awareness, and maybe some very profound experiences with awareness. And I think for a lot of us, we kind of overlook it. We bypass it or kind of diminish it. Why? Because our minds are so active and we're so used to focusing externally. And I mean that externally also, that includes thinking and emotions, but on stuff. We're used to focusing on the content of our experience. What we're going to do with this and how we're going to figure that out, or what we're going to do or shouldn't have done. And we all know how all of that goes. That's the content of experience, embellished by our thinking, which does a real embellishment usually. And the emotions that associate it, trigger it. And then we get into ruminations or whatever it is. So it is unusual. It's not ordinary for us to really stop and not to beat ourselves over the head. I've got to drop my thinking, It's actually the other way around. It's to stop all of the activity that we're usually engaged in. Our minds are rolling around doing all these things, and then we've got all these things externally we need to do. And the invitation is just for us to relax. And for a moment, and again, there's no, oh no, I didn't relax long enough. I've heard so many, over the years, so many people say that, well, I can't stay there, or it doesn't last. That's okay. What the point is now, a deeper understanding, is just touch into it, get familiar with it, keep going back to it. And this image of a newborn is I think one of the easiest ways, rather than saying touch into silence, which is horribly intimidating. A newborn, what would be your experience? Touch it. And then the invitation is go back to it. Not only while you're sitting here and all of us are together, during your days, whatever you're doing, for a moment, take your mind back, remember it, and then move on. No judgment. There doesn't have to be a big, long story about it. It's just about doing it and touching it. Yeah. And when we do that, it becomes more and more natural to us, more familiar. A lot of people have called this home, this touching into. And what I just quoted that poem by Rumi, turning toward what you truly love saves you. Sounds like it's a big claim, but it is true profoundly. Why does it save you? Because beneath all of the doings and the content, and I think in our world today, we're more inundated by content than ever before. A friend of mine, in fact, it was Dan in the car, just told me that teenagers or one of the Gen Z or something wish that there was no internet, a good portion of them? A small majority of young people, I don't remember whether it was 10 or whatever, would have
appreciated not living in the internet age, that they would go back to that if they could.
And that's pretty stunning, isn't it? Recognizing for all the wonderful things that the internet does, what it also does, adds to the overwhelm of our days hugely. Okay, even with the internet and even with all the other things, we can touch back in. It's so simple, so quiet. You need nothing. You need no special circumstances. Just doing it. Just doing it. So, as I said, a lot of people call this home. Recognizing that this basic nature of pure awareness is what we fundamentally are. We don't have to cultivate it. It's always there. It's never not there. You can't be bad enough to lose it, and you can't be good enough to attain it, because it's always there anyway. And the only question is, do we touch it? Now, we've all heard the terms many times about awakening, and there are a lot of myths, I'd say, or misconceptions around awakening. And it sounds like that's what I'm talking about. And yes, I am, because that's what touching in to what you already are is. You're awakened there into what you truly are, without all the content that can really confuse us. But we're also always often confused, thinking, oh, well, awakening means something enormous, like we're going to be radiant all the time, serene all the time, or transcendent all the time. That's not it. That's not it at all. What it is simply touching into this quiet place that I invited you to, and I know many of you did this evening. So very simple. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, and it can be found in any circumstances. This is what's interesting. You don't need to have the silence or the beauty or whatever. You can be wherever you are. You can be under difficult circumstances. In fact, often difficult circumstances will promote awakening. Not next week, I'm going to be giving another talk in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to talk about some new scientific evidence that validate the contemplative path that we're on. I hope that you all will be there. This is so stunning. So won't talk about it tonight, but this is it. This is who you are. And it is simple at any time, at any point of your life, no matter how confusing everything else is, no matter how much we grieve, whether it's grief over the political situation or grief or whatever else, personal grief, this still remains through all of it. So, inviting you to question your misconceptions, if you've got them, that awakening means like, oh, they've got to be serene all the time, or silent all the time, or wise all the time. No, you're a human being. That means accepting it all, whatever comes up, whether it's grief or confusion or what, you accept it. Because that's what's there. That's what presence is. We often hear about presence, right? Presence isn't just noticing that this is a beautiful cloth with colors that I like, or whatever else. It's not just that. It looks like it's Sidna's cloth. Is that right, Sidna? Yeah. Oh, okay, good. So that's being present is coming from allowing that which you truly are to infuse your day, to truly be there with it. I mean, we can all notice, a variety of things, but really being present to it is coming from this place. I'll call it the awakened place of touching what you truly are. And it infuses your experience of life. So what I wanted to do is invite us to have a conversation, because I would hope that some of you will be willing to share some of your experiences, call it spiritual, contemplative, whatever it is. I think we all have some experiences that stand out for us, like more intensely alive, more intensely aware than we were at other times. And maybe some of you have had major experiences that you will call awakening. Okay, before I even start with that, there's something else I want to add. There are many ways that an awakening, our spiritual experience happens. You know, we've heard of these huge ways, but it also a major shift and a major breakthrough, and those are good. But most of us have quiet ways. And the more we practice, I lived for a while in a Zen monastery, and they used to say that it can come like mist, being awakened quietly, and you turn around and you realize, I know this. You know, it doesn't have to be this big cataclysmic whatever. And particularly for people like us here, who have been listening, some of you have been coming for years, if not decades, to IMCC. I see some smiles. Decades. You know a lot. Probably, and you know and have touched what I'm talking about, even if we don't admit it or we haven't noticed it, because the mind gets in there and says, oh no, that couldn't be it. You know, this was just, and then we move on and then get into other things. So anyway, I hope that tonight some of you be willing to share some of your own experiences, and I'd be happy to share some of mine as well. You know, when we're touching into what we truly are, like we were invited today to do that. That's in touching into the reality of what this universe is. We are connected. That's what Dina was saying. A half smile was that from Thich Nhat Hanh. There are any number of ways, infinite number of ways, that these connections naturally will appear to us because it is reality. You see, we live in a culture that emphasizes separation, right? That we're separate here and separate there, and then we also feel like we're not good enough, and we kind of have a sense of lack. And the truth is we are truly connected. Belonging is one word. There isn't that separation on the deepest level. And that's why Rumi said, turning toward what you truly love saves you. This, what we truly love, is what we yearn for and usually don't know it. You know, and we go around and we want to, you know, as a culture anyway, with material things or money or cars or computers or you name it, we go for it. It's never going to do it. Why? Because what we're really looking for, what we really sense we lack, is this connection with what we truly are.